All right, let's head to the Payless Liquors hotline right now. He is the voice of Monday Night Football. Maybe to our market, though, and he might like this, unapologetic Indiana football fan. That is how I'll introduce Joe Buck here on this Monday morning. Joe, thank you so much for the time. Good morning to you.
Man, I come on. We got to represent for those of us who are Hoosier fans. I can't get enough. I'm obsessed. I can't act like I've been a diehard since I walked off the campus way back in the roaring 90s. But for the last couple of years, my God, it's just been a blast. So thanks for having me on. And yeah, I make no apologies. Got so tired of hearing from my UCLA partner and my friends who went to Notre Dame and Alabama parents, and let's go. We finally get to puff our chest out a little bit. It's nice.
Honestly, I think the weekly excitement level for me is just waiting for you to needle Troy at some point about the current college football landscape between Indiana and UCLA.
Well, I didn't even – the game against UCLA was such a joke and such a blowout this year that I didn't even bring it up. We were – believe me, we were on a text chain. And Troy, to his credit, and it's true, has kind of flipped his allegiance. He just loves good coaching, and I think he's recognized what – Coach Signetti has done, and he's kind of flipped his attention and his heart over to Indiana during this little run. So it was low hanging fruit. So I just left it alone after they took it to UCLA. But yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for this weekend and what's to come at the Rose Bowl.
We have Joe Buck on the line, and again, for as great as the vibes are with IU, I would say it's probably the opposite for the Colts right now. Joe, what was your reaction when Phillip Rivers came out of retirement, and how quickly did you have to accept that it is reality that he's trying to do this with a struggling team, be the third 44-year-old quarterback or older to win a game in the NFL?
Yeah, I guess for TV's sake and for our narrative that we get to go into the game, I was like, hell yeah, let's go. We've got interest, and it's just such a shame what happened with Daniel Jones, and I do think the leg and the fracture was clearly bothering him before the Achilles went. So yeah, it's heartbreaking, and I've been there for so many of the games with the Giants over the years for him. And to finally see him have his moment in this league with a really good team, and I really do believe the Colts are a good ball club, and then to have that happen was awful. And then the question is, okay, who's taken over? And for us in TV, it becomes a fun storyline. And I know people around here, and the ratings were crazy for the game last week, and it was a great game, and they almost pulled it off. I do know that after talking to Kyle Shanahan, he 100% genuinely believes that Phillip Rivers can get this done. And, it was on the table for him to join the 49ers a few years ago when Brock Purdy took over and ended up getting injured in the NFC Champ game. There's a lot of respect in this league for Phillip Rivers, maybe more than I was even aware of. Before this latest turn in his career, but we can talk about it. But we talked to him. He feels really good. I think he feels better this week than he did last, and I give the Colts a real chance to win this game tonight and have a chance to get into the postseason with kind of this crazy storyline going on.
That voice needs no introduction. Joe Buck, you'll hear him, of course, tonight. It is Monday Night Football for the first time in 3 years. The Colts will be on it, Colts and 49ers, over at Lucas Oil Stadium. Joe, let's hit that maybe a little bit more. It seems like the Colts all week long have been pretty optimistic that the game plan in Seattle was just, break glass in case of emergency. They feel like there's more there with this passing offense, maybe more there with even the right arm of Phillip Rivers. Is that the vibe that you got in speaking with him?
Completely. And I'll tell you this, Phillip is nothing if not honest. And he was very open about how he felt last week. He was shocked at how his body felt on Monday, in the good sense that he woke up and he thought, it was going to be brutal just getting to the bathroom in the morning. And He said, I had some bumps and bruises, but I felt better than I thought I would. The one thing that he said that you can't really replicate, you can run, you put the pads on, you can, I guess, try to get the legs in shape. But for what his shoulder went through in that game, I think he came out of that game pretty sore in that regard. Talking to the 49ers, they say, you can see that the mind is good. You can see that the arm is going to be good. He's always kind of had this funky delivery. The question is the legs and the game shape of the legs. And so the 49ers are going to try to get him moving. And, if you're going to face any team, this is a 49er team that has an inside track on the number 1 seed, and they're dead last in the league in sacks. Their pass rush has not been good this year. And, maybe that plays into the Colts' hands tonight and exactly what Phillip Rivers needs. But I believe that as far as the game plan, Phillip said you're going to see more intermediate throws. You're going to see more stuff down the field. He goes, am I going to roll to my right and throw a ball 60 yards? No, but, I didn't do that before. You're going to see, I think, more down the field, though, than you saw compared to the game in Seattle, which was a lot of stuff around the line of scrimmage.
Again, we have Joe Buck on the Payless Hotline. You'll hear his voice tonight on Monday Night Football. Joe, pivoting back to the college scene, IU has done what many to believe has been the impossible the last 2 years, going from nothing to a whole lot of something here lately with a chance to try to contend for a national championship. So for you, as someone who attended that university, when did you become a believer in Coach Signetti, and how quickly did you have to adapt your expectations to his?
First of all, you said it perfectly right, because I did not graduate. I walked after 3.5 years to do the Cardinals. I was like, well, I can either stay in school and hope someday to get the Cardinal job, or I can take the Cardinal job. And I opted for, thanks to nepotism, option B. So I took the Cardinal job. Obviously, best friends with so many guys that, were in my fraternity there at IU, and which was Sigma Nu, in case you're wondering. And so we're on this gigantic text chain. I think they kind of talked me into it. You could feel it brewing last year, but I think any of us who've been fans over the years, we got teased into thinking that it was legit. And they seem to always play, or at times play, some of the bigger programs really tight, and then they would lose the game. And it was like, are we ever going to get over the hump? And I think it changed last year when they looked better. I think the eye test with the way they look is just different. And yeah, they lost to Ohio State last year. They lost in the college football playoff. But it just felt different. And then this year, I think we can all agree that in the past, the game at Penn State, the catch was insane. But in years past, he would have been out of bounds. But this year, he was inbounds. The game at Oregon, that's a game that IU doesn't win in the past. And then I think even in the Ohio State game, I did a podcast with a guy, Jimmy Traina, who covers the business that I'm in. And he's like, yeah, but that game didn't mean anything. And to me, I said it meant less to Ohio State, but it meant a lot to Indiana. And the fan base is one thing. But I think the team, to say, well, we can beat Ohio State. We just did. And we dominated them defensively. I think that all of that goes into giving all of us a real feel that they're good enough to win the whole thing. Alabama scares me, I'm not going to lie, because of their pedigree and because of their size and their athleticism. But, I think Indiana probably scares them. And I don't think I've ever been able to say that in the past. They're a favorite for a reason.
It's truly an unbelievable comment. Now, when you were in Bloomington, that was some Mallory years, was it not?
It was. I'm basically the same age as Trent Green. He was in McNutt dorm a year ahead of me, and then I was McNutt. And we were. Back in the day, we would go to the games, and they were fun. And Anthony Thompson and Trent Green and Mallory, and it was a good time to be an IU fan. I traveled, went to a game in Michigan State. They took on Lorenzo White. It was a fun time in the Big Ten too, but then it kind of dipped down. Then my daughter went there, and I would visit her, and we would tailgate. And then I'm like, all right, it's game time. And she's like, oh yeah, nobody goes into the game. We just go home. I'm like, what? We tailgate, but we go home. We don't go into the game.
Always win the tailgate.
Yeah, absolutely. But then I made her go in. I'm like, no, we're going inside the stadium. We're going to the game. And now you can't get in the place. And it's just great. But you're right. I mean, the late 80s, early 90s was a decent time to be an IU fan, but it was nothing like this.
Well, we'll end with this, Joe. And again, we can't thank you enough for the time here on what is a busy Monday. It's been a while since Monday Night Football is called Indy home.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years, right? Did you start? I'm trying to think. When did you come over to ESPN?
First year was 20. This is our fourth year, so we were here, I guess.
Yeah, so it's I think it was Chargers and Steelers late in the year. They actually had a couple Monday nighters with Matt Ryan.
Oh yeah,
that season.
We did those games. We were here.
Was there any staple for you last night? Did you have dinner anywhere? Is there any? I know maybe you're not in town for the combine. I'm trying to think of what other events you would have been to Indy here in recent years.
A lot of my friends are Colts fans in St. Louis, so I brought 3 friends. They went to St. Elmo's. My wife and I. My wife does Monday Night Countdown, has a really great feature tonight with a little boy who's been through a lot, and a special relationship with one of the Colts cheerleaders who signs he can't hear, signs the national anthem to him and talks to him and has this great relationship with him. It's a beautiful piece. She and I just ate at the Cap Grill here in the hotel, and then I'm going to have lunch today at the Cap Grill here in the hotel with a couple of fraternity buddies that work here in Indy. So, I'm not I just want to kind of go to bed, I watch Sunday Night Football, do my work, and kind of get a decent night's sleep.
Yeah, that's a great story. Cheerleader Morgan, I believe that'll be.
Yeah, there you go. You know more about it than I do. We went to the hangar. That we had a group party for everybody that covers Monday Night Football, from the pregame to the game. We had the whole place. Pat Knight came, and he brought a couple of bobbleheads of his dad, and I've known Pat from over the years. So the hangar was awesome last night. We ran there after Michelle and I ate dinner and spent a couple hours, and it was great. But again, came back, watched the football game, went to bed.
Love it. I love it. Sounds like an awesome time here in Indy. We'll be looking forward to it tonight again. That Monday night feature as well will be great to view. Joe, can't thank you enough, man. Go Hoosiers, and we'll certainly be listening and watching tonight.
All right, good. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
That's a great Joe Buck right there on the Payless Liquors hotline. Caleb will have that up on the podcast. We appreciate his time here. A little bit of a shift around in the 9 o'clock hour. With that, Caleb, let's go ahead and hit a break. We'll come back. We'll do a little check down. We'll continue to preview tonight. Colts and 49ers in Week 16.